Imagine standing at the crossroads of power and influence, where every decision you make could tip the balance between success and failure. In this space, having a guide is invaluable, a manual that doesn't just explain the rules of the game, but shows you how to bend them. This is the legacy of Machiavelli, and why, centuries after its first publication, The Prince remains a go-to reference for anyone seeking to understand and master the subtle art of manipulation. At its heart, Machiavellian thinking isn't about evil or cold-heartedness. It's about clarity, seeing people, situations, and systems as they truly are, not as we wish them to be. Machiavelli teaches us that if you want to influence others, you must first free yourself from illusions. You must recognize that most people act out of self-interest, that emotions sway decisions, and that power often lies in perception, not just in facts. Let's break down Machiavelli's manual into practical, actionable lessons for mastering influence in today's world. First, understand the principle of adaptability. Machiavelli argues that a successful leader is like a river, able to shift course, adjust to obstacles, and exploit opportunities as they arise. In the modern workplace, this means flexing your approach depending on the personalities and power dynamics at play. Are you dealing with a boss who craves recognition? Use the mirror technique. Reflect their language, acknowledge their achievements, and subtly align your goals with their values. This builds rapport and trust, positioning you as an ally rather than a rival. Next comes the power of perception. Machiavelli insists that it's often more important to appear virtuous, confident, or decisive than to actually be so. Today, this translates into the art of personal branding. Take control of your narrative. When you enter a meeting, stand tall, speak clearly, and project certainty, even if you feel nervous inside. People are hardwired to follow those who seem sure of themselves. With each small win, your confidence becomes reality. But Machiavellian influence isn't just about playing a role. It's about understanding the motivations of others. Here, the yes ladder comes into play. Start by getting people to agree with you on small, harmless points. Each yes creates momentum, making it easier for them to say yes to bigger requests later. Imagine asking a colleague for feedback on a project. Once they've said yes to something easy, like reviewing a paragraph, they're more likely to agree to larger asks like collaborating on a presentation. Machiavelli also emphasizes the value of strategic honesty. Sometimes, telling the truth builds trust more effectively than flattery or deceit. But, and this is key, you must know when to deploy honesty for maximum impact. For example, if you've made a mistake, own up to it quickly. This disarms critics and positions you as someone with integrity. In turn, your openness makes others more likely to support you when you need it. Manipulation, in Machiavelli's terms, is not about tricking people for personal gain. It's about aligning your interests with theirs and making them feel like your ideas are their own. This is where say because becomes powerful. When you give people a reason, even a simple one, they're far more likely to comply. If you need a last-minute favor, don't just ask. Say, "Could you help me with this because I'm up against a tight deadline?" That "because" taps into a deep psychological need for justification, making your request almost irresistible. Fast forward to today, and Machiavelli's lessons are more relevant than ever. Recent analyses, like the 2025 audio adaptation of The Prince by Frémaux and Associés, spotlight how these strategies can be used not just in politics, but in management and everyday life. Modern leaders are rediscovering Machiavellian principles to navigate complex teams, negotiate deals, and inspire loyalty, often without relying on authority or force. In the business world, adaptability is prized above all else. The rapid pace of change demands leaders who can pivot, inspire, and sometimes outmaneuver competitors. Machiavellian thinking gives you an edge. It teaches you to anticipate obstacles, to read the room, and to position yourself where you're most likely to succeed. But let's be clear, manipulation can never be your only tool. The most effective influencers combine Machiavellian strategy with genuine empathy. When you listen, truly listen to what someone needs, you can tailor your approach to fit their unique perspective. This isn't just smart, it's essential. People are quick to sense when they're being used, But if you combine strategic thinking with real concern for others, you become not just a manipulator, but a trusted advisor. Let's ground these ideas with a concrete example. Imagine you're in a tense negotiation. The other side is stonewalling, refusing to budge. A Machiavellian approach wouldn't be to attack head-on, but to subtly shift the dynamics. You might start by acknowledging their concerns, mirroring their language to show you understand. Next, build momentum with the yes ladder. We both want a successful outcome, right? Once they agree, you introduce small concessions, each time saying because and providing clear reasons. Over time, you create a sense of partnership, gradually moving them toward your position. Or picture yourself managing a team resistant to change. Instead of demanding compliance, you use perception to your advantage. Highlight early adopters, celebrate their progress publicly, and let others see the benefits. As more people buy in, the group's perception shifts and resistance melts away. Not through force, but through carefully crafted influence. Machiavelli also teaches us the power of removing obstacles, sometimes ruthlessly. In his time, this could mean eliminating rivals. Today, it's about clearing the path for your ideas. That might mean diplomatically sidelining naysayers, or it could mean building alliances that make your position unassailable. The key is to act decisively and never let indecision undermine your authority. But here's where modern Machiavellianism differs from the caricature of the cold, calculating schemer. Today, we recognize that influence is a two-way street. The best manipulators are those who invite feedback, who remain open to changing their minds, and who use their power to lift others up. This is strategic adaptability at its finest. So, how can you apply these lessons in your own life? Start by observing. Watch how people react in meetings, notice who holds informal power, and study the unwritten rules that govern your workplace or social group. Once you understand the landscape, begin to experiment. Try mirroring someone's communication style. Use the yes ladder in your requests, and always provide a reason when you need something. Don't forget the importance of self-awareness. Manipulation, after all, starts with the self. If you know your strengths and weaknesses, you can present yourself more effectively. If you are prone to anxiety, practice projecting calm. If you struggle to speak up, rehearse your points in advance so you can deliver them with confidence. And remember, Machiavellian influence is most effective when it's invisible. The moment others feel manipulated, your power evaporates. That's why the best practitioners are those who make others feel empowered, respected, and understood, even as they subtly steer the outcome. Let's revisit the modern relevance of Machiavelli's teachings. In 2025, the audio adaptation of The Prince brought these timeless ideas to a new audience, reminding us that strategic thinking never goes out of style. Contemporary analyses, like those exploring Machiavellianism in management, have shown that these principles are just as valuable for leading teams as they are for running kingdoms. Adaptability, perception, and strategic empathy are the pillars of effective modern leadership. But perhaps the most important lesson from Machiavelli is this: the end may justify the means, but only if you're clear about what your end goal truly is. Before you set out to influence, persuade, or manipulate, ask yourself, what am I really trying to achieve? Is it just personal gain, or is there a bigger purpose? When your goals are aligned with the greater good, your influence becomes not just powerful, but meaningful. So, as you move through your day, whether you're negotiating a deal, leading a team, or navigating a tricky social situation, remember Machiavelli's manual. Use adaptability to stay flexible, perception to shape how others see you, and strategic honesty to build trust. Deploy the mirror technique, the yes ladder, and always say because to maximize your influence. But above all, act with intention. Influence is not about manipulation for its own sake. It's about understanding the game, mastering the rules, and using your power to create outcomes that benefit everyone involved. In the end, Machiavellian thinking is less about deception than about clarity, confidence, and the courage to act. It's about becoming the kind of person others want to follow, not because you force them, but because you show them a path they want to walk. So, step into the role of strategist. Embrace the timeless wisdom of Machiavelli, and watch as you transform not just your own destiny, but the world around you, one subtle, strategic move at a time.